Well, it's the first time I've been on the range in a while. I have a bunch of stuff in my bag. I just changed my grip size. We're going to experiment with that a little bit today. I'm going to do a quick warm up, and let's just talk today about how to start getting ready for your year and how you can have a great warm up and a great practice session.
So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. Years ago, I was frustrated because I lost that. I was confused, I was frustrated, and then I met Mo Norman and learned the single plane swing. And so now I wake up every day and I know I'm going to hit it well, I know I'm going to play well, I know I'm going to have fun. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing.
So I thought it might be a great start for today to just discuss what it's like to have a great practice session. It's early in the year. I have not played a lot. I've not hit a lot of golf balls. But I'm standing here on the range. It's a very nice day today, and I'm looking down here at a bunch of people practicing. And that's one of the things I see is the problem with golfers' ability to not only improve their game, but also get ready for their season and really have a great year, is they just don't practice very well. So I want to walk you through some of the things that I do as I start gearing my game up for my practice session. Now, I have worked on my equipment some. I've made a couple adjustments to my grips. I've changed the grip size a little bit. I have a couple new wedges in the bag. I'm playing around with a couple. So I'm doing some experimentation too, and that's okay this time of year. But I got to tell you something. If I'm going to start playing a ton of golf, I want to nail down the stuff that I want to be really using throughout the year. So that's part of this whole process. Is number one is making a few changes in your equipment, maybe making a few swing changes if you have to, but in the next couple of months, really gearing yourself up for getting into the season when you're going to play your best golf. And let's just call Masters. Let's just call around the Masters time is when the season's going to kick off, and I want to be playing my best golf around that period of time. That's what's great I love about golf, is Masters kind of kicks us off. So the first thing I want to talk about is just, obviously, I'm looking down the range and nobody's using a training aid. I use a alignment trainer here when I practice always, especially when I'm fiddling around with working on my swing. I always want to make sure my ball position's correct. The other thing I do too is I want to show you this product here. This is a product we developed last year. It's really cool because this is what I use now to warm up. It's got our grip on it, our training grip. It's got a chain on here, which this is a weighted chain. It's the length of a 6-iron. But the thing I like about this, it's a great warm-up tool for me because number one, it gets my hands on there correctly, and number two, I can feel lag. This thing has enough weight to where it's allowing me to feel lag in my swing. So it gives me the feeling of a really good timing of a golf swing. And one of the problems with early in the year, like when you're stepping out right now to start playing and you haven't played a lot, you may be training inside or doing lots of short game work or whatever you can do inside, but you haven't been making a lot of motion. And the problem with not making swing motion is that your timing gets off. Timing is a big deal. Timing is the sequencing of the body. I look at my swing on video a lot of times and I see that I'm swinging really well, but I'm not hitting it really well because it just doesn't quite feel like I'm timed up. And it takes me it might take me a week or two of hitting some balls like I did today, like I'm going to today, to really feel my timing again. So anyway, this thing helps me feel the timing. So I'm not going to sit there and I'll swing this thing probably 50 times to warm myself up. And what's interesting about this, it's a great plane trainer because it forces me to get on planes. So there's a lot of benefit to this product. So I'm not going to actually walk you through all my exact warm-ups with this, but I'll warm up for 10-15 minutes, do some stretches, get my body loosened up. Shoulders tend to get pretty tight when I haven't hit a lot of golf balls. I have been in the gym, working a little bit in the gym. Nothing real heavy, but just getting myself kind of fit and ready for the year. So I'll warm up a little bit. I got my training aid. The other one you've seen me work with here is the single plane trainer. Now, the single plane trainer, just to explain to you what this is, when you hold the club in the proper alignment, obviously it still has our grip on it just like our other training product, and it's creating a lead side relationship. And I'll train this quite a bit because it's training me how to get the club to the lead side of my body. Now, here's how we train with this product. We'll set down a couple markers here, and basically it's basically markers to help me feel the motion of playing. Now, what I mean by that is lead side relationships created, maintain the lead side relationship, put the club on plane, and now I'll do that without looking. So now what I have is proper training for body motion and swing plane. So, and notice like when I do that, it's not going like this, it's not going like that. It's going club to body on plane, in and up, in and up, transition, impact. So I'll train some with this, maybe do some reps with this. So you've seen me kind of warm up with this trainer, work on my club to body movement, and then I'll come back to this and just kind of feel that sequence again. Loosen those shoulders up, feel that club to body motion again. So this is kind of my warm-up routine before I'll start hitting some balls. Now, the first thing that I'll do after I feel like I'm pretty loose is I'll grab a short iron. Most people, I see everybody, like I always see drivers come out of the bag down there. I might not even hit any drivers today. And the reason is everybody wants to pound the driver, but what I want to do is get my technique really good so when I do start hitting some drivers, my technique is great. Hitting the ball long and great distances has a lot to do with technique. So first thing I'm going to do is just grab my gap wedge. One of the things that I've done with this year, I added one more wrap to my clubs. I've increased my grip size just a little bit. So we're going to do that for a while and see if I like it. It's not going to affect my ball flight too much, or shouldn't affect my grip too much. It's not that much bigger. But so I'll choke down on the wedge here a little bit and just hit some easy wedge shots. And listen, I'm not horribly concerned with where the ball is going right now. I just want to hit it solid and kind of start feeling my swing again. I haven't hit balls in a couple months, so I just want my address to feel good. I'm using my trainer here to get my ball position correct, and I just want my motion to start feeling good. And I'm just choking down just a little bit on the club because I want some control. I'm not trying to hit these far. These are just little wedges here to feel control. And once again, not swinging hard. Not trying to hit 150-yard gap wedges here. I'm just trying to hit little bitty 100-yard shots. Getting my tempo and my pace. Getting the feeling for rhythm because the timing of it. And you know, I have this alignment trainer down, and what I might do is just come back here once in a while and see if I'm hitting it on this pattern, because a lot of times I practice by patterning. In other words, I'm not always hitting in a target necessarily, but I am checking that when I do hit a shot that it's moving down the pattern of my setup. So a lot of times I'm not necessarily lining up at targets, but I am paying some attention to, is it going where my body is lined up? A couple more wedges. Hit that one nice. Look, today I'm going to spend a ton of time hitting wedges, short irons. I'm not going to hit a lot of drivers. I probably won't even hit any 3-woods. I doubt I'll hit any mid irons. I'm just going to hit some wedges. I'm already feeling my timing getting a little bit better from this. That one I felt a little more lag. You're not gonna be able to see it on video, but I'm feeling, not rushed like sometimes when you're tight and not feeling good. You can start hearing the ball a little bit too. That one sounded better. They're all pretty solid, but it's just starting to feel a little bit better now. And I keep moving the trainer around because this trainer is designed to have the ball position correct and then my foot position correct. So it's kind of teaching me, because what's feel? Feel is developed around, it's perceptual as well, right? So how I feel at address is this ball position would feel different. That ball position would feel different. That ball position feels correct, So if you're gonna hit balls, like I'm watching people on the range right now, and if you're hitting golf balls and the ball position isn't consistent, how can you expect to feel consistent, right? It's a big deal. So I'm just constantly monitoring ball position here, getting super consistent. And making sure that I'm building feelings around the proper ball position. I'm gonna tell you right now, the better that my ball position feels, the better I hit it. The better my address feels, the better I hit it. So this year, as you start thinking about your goals and things, start considering the factor of consistency. Let me ask you this question: how would it feel to have just an absolutely perfect address this year, and feel what I call locked in, or just so good at address? That's where you're super consistent because you're not fiddling with your grip, you're not fiddling with your stance, just locking it in and ripping it. That's a great goal, right? So that's one thing I always like to do is just feel great at address. Okay, I'm gonna let some out here a little bit. A little longer wedges. You're gonna hit a little further, but not choking down as much. So now they're going about 110 maybe. And the other conversation, if you're still tuned in here, is I see tons of golf instruction stuff and they're so concerned about results. Look, I'm very much a result guy too. I want results. But I don't think you're going to get results unless you spend some time really, really working on consistent fundamentals, right? People don't talk enough about consistency. They don't talk enough about consistent ball position, consistent foot position, consistent body position. Crap, drives me crazy. But they talk about how pounding the golf ball out there a mile. And you know what? I think you have to focus on, I got to set up the same way every single time. Super consistent address and being great. That swing didn't feel very good. But just feeling great at address, right? So feeling really good at address. And this year, really thinking about how can you, from this point forward, just get these solid fundamentals. Better. Check that path a little bit. Grip's a little bit larger. Feels okay. Nothing spectacular here. All right, full. This is a full wedge now. So I'll hit these full. These will go about 115. A little more full. Feels good. Once again, checking that ball position, making sure it's correct. Right in front of my iron ball position. Step in here. Get my address feeling good. I always feel, one thing I always have to make sure is that I feel this lean of this shaft being forward at address, so my tilt's correct. Arms actually feel straight, but you can see that this one's above this one. So I love that feeling there because it's locked in. Love that. So, single plane members and all of you Mo Norman fans out there, this is my first practice session for the year. I'm going to go through some of these practice sessions. If you're interested, please subscribe to the channel. I'm just going to walk you throughout the year things I'm working on, tips, things I practice, ways that I practice, and of course, my trial and error process too. I have a lot of stuff I'd like to try and have fun with. So I may be, goofing around with some things, whether it's a new training product or new club or messing with my swing a little bit. We'll see. But this year you can go along for the ride with me. Hit that pier. And look how shallow these divots are, right? So very shallow divots. And you're seeing that, there's not a lot of turf here. It's middle of winter, but nice and shallow and feels really good. Oh, that felt good. But yeah, today's practice session is just feeling the wedges, timing my swing back up, getting the timing back, and just starting to feel good. Make sure my ball position's good. Not gonna hit drivers, just gonna maybe hit a few short irons here in a minute. And that's going to be my wedge practice session for the day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next practice session. Guys, sure enough, as I was coming in from the range, I had a great wedge practice session, hit lots of wedges, just got my timing and tempo back, spent about an hour. It was a great practice session. You saw me do some of that, but it was interesting because when I came in, the first thing I saw was a guy with a nice tour bag. He runs out there and had a pretty good swing. I saw him warming up. He made a couple practice swings, but then the first club he pulls out of his bag was his driver, and he's topped the first 4 shots. And I was watching him struggle down there, hitting drivers, and he never even warmed up with anything. So guys, listen, start this year off great. Let's have a great year. I'm here to help you and coach you through it, and let's hit some wedges and get those wedges going. Get your timing back. Work on some fundamental stuff. We have plenty of time in the next couple months before the Masters to get everything in shape. So let's get moving on this and go hit some great wedge shots.